Hello, everyone. This is Shehara Wooten with Your Story Financial. I'm certified financial planner, and I'm super excited today because we are doing a live broadcast, and this is the first time I'm doing that on my YouTube channel. So welcome to the Money Decision Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We love comments. So throughout this, if you do come on live or if you're watching the replay, please take the time to comment, ask us questions, because we are going to be happy to answer those as well. So again, Shehara Wooten. And today I'm going to start off with some information about the financial situation. We're going to talk about some of the changes, or not so much changes, but things that are staying the same coming up in 2021. And then I will bring our special guest on because we're going to be having a lot of fun here talking about fashion and finance. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But let's start off getting all the business stuff out of the way. But one of the things I want to make sure people are aware of is that now is the time to focus on funding your Roth IRA, your traditional IRA for 2021. For 2020, you have until the end of the tax filing deadline, which is April 15th, 2021, to contribute to your Roth and traditional IRA. The amount that you can contribute, the max is $6,000. Over 50, you can do a $1,000 catch-up. Those numbers are staying the same for 2021. The other thing that I want to share with you is that with your 401k, your TSP, your 403bs, you can also contribute up to $19,500, as well as a catch-up over 50 of $6,500. So I want to make sure you're reminded of this. Stay focused, stay clear on your financial goals, because no matter what happens with the election, COVID, the pandemic, whatever it is, your goals don't necessarily change because of all of these outside forces. So please stay focused. And so we're going to move right into our next segment. And that is, I'm going to introduce to you Anika Jameson. Now, I met Anika. I met her at in Orlando at the Orlando Black Professional Meetup. And I'm going to pull her in because what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce her and then we're going to get right into the talk. But I actually met her. There she is, her beautiful face there.
Hi,
but
everyone.
I met her at, yes, thank you. But I met her at the Orlando Black Professional Meetup, and we sat next to each other, had a great conversation, and then just continued to stay in touch. And then next thing I know, we're at the same meeting. We talked about it, but she actually went to Women on the Rise. She joined, and I'm also a member of Women on the Rise. So we're fellow divas as well. So that was awesome. So she is actually the philanthropy director for Women on the Rise. And she currently lives in Kissimmee, Florida. But she's an image coach and the owner of the D.A.M.A.L.I Style Project. She empowers adults and youth to dress always to maintain a lasting impression, with styling that creates more than an outfit, but rather exudes confidence, which reflects your natural value. She's presented image workshops on wear it to work for National Sales Network, how to dress for your body type for the PACE Center for Girls, and quarantine outfitting for Women on the Rise International. So I'm super excited to talk with her. She's also a veteran, guys. She's a veteran with the U.S. Navy. She served our country for 12 and a half years and has a bachelor's of science in business management. And she's a certified CLCI life coach. So please, let's bring her on and welcome her today. Beautiful and stunning today, as her business name exudes. So thank you, Anika. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this for us and helping us during this time. What I wanted to start off with, because fashion it's something that, we can't get away with. We just can't get away from, no matter what, whether we're in quarantine or out and about. So let's start with the first item of just, what do we do? Like, when we're working from home, how do we get dressed properly? How do we do all of this? What are your thoughts? Please share. Give us some wisdom here.
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you so much for having me. I was so excited when you mentioned us collaborating to do this fashion and finance discussion. As you know, especially now in this time that we are with COVID, right? Everyone is watching their dollars. And so shopping may not necessarily be at the top of their list or top of their priorities, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are also working from home now, right, compared to before. And we are doing a lot of Zoom meetings. Everything is online, and you can get kind of mundane because it's like, I don't have anywhere to go. Why should I dress up? But I'm just going to give you guys a few tips and tricks that you can do just to kind of spruce yourself up, because the acronym for my company is Dress Always to Maintain a Lasting Impression. So when you're working from home, even though technically no one can, see your full body, you still want to present yourself so that when people do see you on camera, that they like what they see, right? So loungewear is really big right now when it comes to working from home. You can find them everywhere, right? You can find the high-end ones, you can find the low-end ones. And so the thing about loungewear is you have to be careful, because it can look like pajamas if you just wear it for what it is. But if you're at home and you want to be comfortable, what I would suggest is adding a little bit of color to it, because most of the loungewear, the colors are very muted, they're not bright, and it can tend to like dull your skin out. So what I would suggest is maybe, depending on the way the top is, just maybe adding like an earring to it, or if you have a position where you can do add a scarf, you can do that as well. And now scarves are really big, so you can do the scarf around the neck. You can do you can do the head wraps. Those are really good. So it's just a nice way just to spruce it up, where you're still comfortable and you still feel like yourself, but then you're presentable to the to the people that are on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I love the idea of scarves, because I have quite a few of them. And sometimes, I might be in a t-shirt, and so if I take a scarf, I can spruce all that up, and I love that concept. But I also like what you're saying about continue to look good. I think looking good or feeling good it allows you to exude that confidence through the camera screen. Really does. Wow. So that's important. Thank you. Now, one of the events, and something we talked about before we started, was the term that you coined. And I want to let you say that, because you basically gave the whole definition of it in the previous, speaking what you just said. But tell us about that term that you coined, and tell us a little bit more about that as well.
Okay, so the term that Shehara is referring to is tabletop dressing, right? And so since we're on camera, we know that, you can't see from the, bottom down. So in this case, you want to make sure that, since your face is in front of the camera and you're presenting yourself, that whatever you do from the top up is pretty. Right. And so when it comes to tabletop dressing, you want to make sure that the colors that you wear, they are flattering to your face, because you may not want to wear makeup. Right. Let's be realistic. You're at home and you may not want to wear makeup. So a great way to bring color to your face is by doing a pretty top, a top that has a print, that has and it could be any type of print. It could be a psychedelic print. It could be flowers, anything that's going to draw color to your face. Or you can also do a solid, like today. I have on a lavender blouse, right? And so the lavender is bringing the color to my face. So even if I didn't have makeup, there would be a brightness that will come to my face. Shehara has on a black lace, right? So even though it's black, she has some definition that's going on there. It's bringing light to her face. So it's actually causing the person that's looking at you to be drawn to your face because of what you have going on. And the thing about wearing color, it's easy to accessorize. You don't have to worry really about a necklace, just like she and I, all we're doing is just basic hoops, right? And it's doing the job. So once you have the basic hoops, you don't have to worry about the necklace. You know, probably can't see your hand, so you don't have to worry about bracelets and all that. So the tabletop dressing just makes it really simple. It's about getting pieces that brings light to the face and allowing you to keep your jewelry simple. Another thing that I recommend too is coordinating sets, right? Sometimes it's like you want something simple, you want something easy, you may not want to put anything over your head, so you can easily do a tank top. And in Carnegie, they have those sets out there that are really easy. You don't have to think about it because guess what? It came together, right? And then we'll even have those too that it's attached. So it looks like a two-piece, but it's actually one piece. And so that makes it easy as well. So tabletop dressing is just basically finding pieces that complement your skin tone, brings light to your face, and allows you to keep your jewelry simple. Right. And also with your hair too. So you can just keep your hair simple. You don't have to do too much to it. I think that's just a great way to maximize the moment. And it helps to take a lot of the frustration of trying to find something to wear.
Yeah, definitely a silver lining. I know that this year has just been crazy with the flows and it's just been a lot going on this year. And so the last thing people want to have to worry about is how they're dressing and be able to have a system in place, like what you said. I mean, I love that idea of the preset cardigan tank top mix. You don't have to think too much about it. And I think that's awesome. Now, I did want to bring up something you brought up and just kind of circle back to it. The psychedelic shirt, you mentioned that. Immediately, though, I got, oh my gosh, I got to make sure my background is looking right. Now, I know this wasn't a part of what we were going to talk about, but think about the background. Like, tell us what your thoughts are on the background that we choose as well when we're doing these virtual meetings and what we're wearing. Because I know one time I had a background and I was like, okay, wait, this top is clashing with that background. Tell us more about that.
Well, in that case, when it comes to prints, you do want to be mindful of your background, right? So I would only recommend prints if you have a solid background, like myself. My background right now is solid. So if I was to do a print blouse today, I would be okay because I wouldn't be competing with my background, right? But in the case where you have a different background and yours have a little bit of color, you have a little bit of dimension, a solid print would work better because even though the color prints do bring the color to your face, you don't want to compete with the background. So people are like, okay, what am I looking like? Am I looking at her? Am I looking at him? Am I looking at his background? Or because it could end up being a distraction, right? And the whole point of doing these meetings is you want people, the person that you're talking to or the people that you're talking to, you want them to focus on what you're saying. You want them to be engaged. And so you don't, even though you want something that brightens you up, giving you that self-confidence, you don't want it to compete with your background. So if you have a simple background, you have more variety to play with. But if you have a background that has some type of dimension, some type of a print, then I would tend to stay with something more on the solid side.
I love that. Thank you for that. I think that's so important. So important. So I see that we do have some live viewers here. Feel free to comment. If you have a question for Anika or myself, please feel free. I will see those comments, and we love that kind of interaction. So don't be shy. We're looking forward to hearing. This is a discussion between all of us. So so those are some great suggestions. Now, one of the things that Anika helped me with, and especially it was pre-COVID, but I think now it's even more appropriate, or it's just so relevant is the fact that we have a wardrobe. I know my dressy wardrobe has just been sitting in the closet. I haven't been doing much with it. But one of the things you helped me with in the beginning of the year was how to take the items that I already have and put them together and see them in a new way. And I just love that. You just have a great eye for being able to do that, to take what people already have. So tell us more about like some ideas. You already touched on accessorizing, but there was a lot that I learned from you in that time frame, in terms of how to utilize my wardrobe. But many times we just get so tired. We think, oh, there's nothing more I can do with this outfit. But you were able to take about 3 or 4 outfits and shoes and the dress and the accessories that I had and really put many outfits together. So tell us about that, repurposing our wardrobe.
Repurposing, that's a big thing right now, right? Because like I said earlier, with COVID, a lot of people are watching their finances. And so shopping may not necessarily be at the top of the list. But I can almost guarantee you that most people have clothes in their closet that they have not worn.
Oh, yes. There.
Right?
Right.
With tags still on them. And so one of the first things that I would suggest is I came up with a little acronym, BMW, right? So the B stands for breaking it up. So a lot of us, we have suits, right? Whether it's pantsuits or skirt suits. And we tend to be very traditional and go and keep our jacket with the bottom piece. But I would suggest breaking it up. Wearing that skirt or wearing those pair of slacks with a different top. Instead of wearing it with the jacket, maybe putting it on with a sweater, and a blouse, or maybe just wearing it with a sweater, taking that jacket and maybe putting it with another pair of pants that you typically wouldn't wear it with, right? Just start coordinating your colors, because back in the day, we felt like, oh, if I'm wearing a suit, my jacket has to match the pants. No longer are those days. It doesn't anymore. Everything is about mixing and matching in color. So I would highly recommend breaking up your suit pieces, even for the 2-piece coordinating sets that I mentioned earlier. Same thing. Because you get a cardigan with a camisole, it doesn't mean it has to stay together. So put that camisole with a jacket, put that sweater with another tank top, and that gives you more variety in your wardrobe, right? So the second is M, which is mixing patterns. And I know a lot of people aren't comfortable in that lane because it sounds a little cuckoo crazy, and that was like a faux pas back, way back when. You don't mix patterns, polka dot stays with polka dot and stripe stays with stripe. But now are the days where we're putting it all together. So what I would recommend for those of you that are not comfortable necessarily mixing patterns, I would stay in the same color family, right? So let's say you're doing a black and white polka dot, you can do a black and white stripe. So at least the colors are in the same lane, even though the pattern is different. Or you can also do a complementing color. So I can do a black and white polka dot with a red and white stripe, because red, black, and white goes together, right? So I would keep it in the lane, and I would suggest that the patterns be about the same size. So it doesn't, so it kind of gives you that monochromatic look. So even though you have on a pinstripe and you're doing a smaller dot, then it's like, okay, it's not noticeable that it's like, wow, there goes that print, right? And same thing with animal prints. You could mix them too as well. So I would just suggest staying in the same size of the print, but step out the box, try something new, mix your patterns. If you put it on and you're like, I'm not too sure, that's okay. That's okay. But then at least you're in a position where you are open to trying something new. And there's a lot of stuff there too out on the internet, right? So you can Google mixing patterns, and you can also get some suggestions if you're one of those people like Anika. I don't even know where to start. You're talking about mixing patterns, and other than polka dot and stripes, I'm done. So or you may not be a pattern person, right? So that's okay too. But if you do have that in your wardrobe, I would suggest mixing your patterns. And the last letter of the acronym is W, and it's that wear what you got, right? So that part is wear what you got. And it goes back to those pieces that have tags on it that you have not worn. You have been saving for a special occasion. And ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you, we are in a worldwide pandemic. Tomorrow is not promised. So stop saving those pieces for a special occasion. And if you're going out to dinner, if you're going out to brunch, you're invited to a social event, bring it out, put it on. You know, okay, you may be a little bit overdressed than everyone else, but it's better to be overdressed than underdressed, right? So look in your wardrobe and start pulling out those pieces and incorporating it with things that you already worn, and just you know, just wearing it. And so so basically that is my BMW, which is break it up, mix it up, and wear what you got. And I hope that those tips would really help you as far as repurposing your wardrobe. And it just allows you to be creative too. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff online, a lot of YouTube that can give you ideas for how to style items, because it's just a great way to maximize what you have in your closet.
Well, that is fantastic. I love that. And we did get a question that came in while you were giving those suggestions. And it was something I was going to ask you too. So the timing is perfect. So we've got Signature Cruise and Travel is asking, what style suggestions do you have specifically for men? And I think that's a good question.
Well, I know for men, right? They their stuff is pretty much straightforward. They don't have all the options that women have. You know, we have dresses, we have skirts, and for them, it's pretty much jacket, pants, and slacks. But what I do suggest when it comes to men is the fit, to focus on the fit, right? Because sometimes when I shouldn't say I'm a woman. So when men are on the bigger side, they will tend to wear their clothing looser, right? Because they're mindful of their body type and how they look. But actually, when you wear your clothing looser, it actually makes you look bigger. So I would really suggest that when they shop, that they focus on more of the fit when it comes to their clothing. Because I believe that once your clothes fit you well, you look better. So that's what I would suggest. And as far as colors, step out of the box with colors. You know, there's this faux pas that men can't wear pink. No, that is not the case. Men can wear pink, you know, and men can wear turquoise and they can wear yellow. And so it's just finding, being open to experimenting with colors. And so, because sometimes a lot of men play it safe, they stay with the black and the browns and the grays, you know, and the whites. And it's okay to wear color. It's a way to wear that pink polo shirt or that yellow T-shirt or turquoise. And I think it's just like with women, it brings that, you know, add that color to your face, that brightness to your face. And and so that's what I would suggest. Don't be scared to experiment with color and for the men. And then I would also suggest that they are mindful of the fit of their clothing, and that's with shirts, slacks, and jackets. And just one last note, and when it comes to getting a jacket, a lot of the department stores, they have salespeople that will help you with getting the right fit. So like if you're not sure about your measurements, they would be willing to take those measurements for you so that you can help find the right jacket that fits you as well.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that point about wearing something that fits you makes you actually look better. I think that's amazing.
And that goes for women as well.
Yeah, because
women as well.
Yeah, because even women will do maybe something looser and thinking that they're hiding something or what have you. But you're saying it doesn't appeal to their body. It's better to get something that fits. So that's fantastic. Now, you did bring something up about things that fit. So
Mhm.
post COVID, once we're getting out and about, should there be a tailor on staff or anything like that? Because, you know, I've heard of people who they get all their clothes tailored. I've never really done that, but what are
Mhm.
your thoughts on that?
Um, Tailoring can get expensive. It can
Yeah.
get expensive. I'll give you a scenario that I had. I bought a jumpsuit. I got it on clearance. It was really cute. I paid $12 for it. I was happy. I was ecstatic, right? 50% off. So I'm like, okay, but it was a little bit longer than I would have liked. So I decided, I was like, for 12 bucks, I can afford to take it to the tailor. So I took it to the tailor and the alterations was $18.
Interesting. It was
So the
more.
alterations ended up being more than the
Yeah.
price of the jumpsuit. And so when I thought about it, I was like, I spent $30 on this jumpsuit and
Right.
not 12. And
Right.
so it's not something that I typically do. But in that case, I really liked it. And I'm glad that I got the alterations, but that's not something that I typically do because I realized that it could end up being costing more. I know most people that are petite, sometimes they have a hard time finding the length when it comes to clothing. So for them, alterations is it's part of what they have to do in order to get their clothing to fit them well. But so I would suggest, as far as having one on your Rolodex, so to speak, it's a good idea in case of you do have an item that you really want, it doesn't fit well, so you have someone you can call in order to get those alterations done. Is it required? No. If you're someone that's kind of in that regular, sizing range and you don't have an issue with finding clothes that fit you well, then it's okay for you to go without one. But if you're someone that has an issue with or the waist, like some women have problems with their waist, they have bigger hips, bigger thighs, and they have that small waist. And so what happens is this gapping that happens in the back, and that happens with me as well. And in those cases, you may have to spend a little bit more time shopping to try to find brands that works for your body type, that can give you that smaller waist that has more stretch, right? Because if it has the stretch, it's going to go around those curves better, but then you still get that smaller waist. So because it may not be in your budget for you to have a seamstress.
Yes.
A tailor, yes, seamstress is what they called it back in the day. And so it may not be part of your budget. So it may take a little bit more work on your end. And there's so many clothing stores online that they are very specific to talls, they're specific to petite. So I would just say try to focus on buying clothing that works better for your body type. And so it ends up being less of an investment when it comes to always having to buy something and taking it to the tailor, because like I said, it can get pretty costly.
It really can. Now, we got a few comments that came in. Nikki came on here. Thank you so much for your comment. Before I go into that, I did want to just make a comment about how when we were looking at my wardrobe, there was a dress that we threw out.
Yes.
Still have the dress, but fabric, I didn't even think of that. But when I tried it on, it just was bunching up in different places, just in line with that whole alteration. And I don't think an alteration would have done it. It was the fabric that was the issue. So we got to look for that. That was something that I learned from you.
Yeah, fabric is key. And that's part of being aware of your body type, right? And for me, and I think for a lot of women, that the spandex, the more spandex you have is better. But you want to complement that spandex with maybe a cotton or maybe a rayon, something that's a little bit more substantial, because polyester could kind of have that cheap and flimsy look, right? That polyester spandex. And so that's not the look that we're going for. You want something a little bit more solid, because that helps it helps the fabric to move better on your body. And I am a big fan of shapewear. So when you wear your shapewear, it just makes everything look a lot smoother. Because when fabric doesn't have any give in it, all it do is bunches up. And so sometimes you'll be out and you see those women, they have on these fitted skirts, but they're walking, and as they walk, they keep wiggling the skirt down because there's no give in the skirt. So when they move, the skirt moves, right? But if you have the spandex in there with the give, your skirt will move when you move, right? Even with slacks as well. When you move, your slacks will move instead of having that little bunchy thing that happens in front with because the fabric is so structured. So I am a big believer in getting fabrics that have give, some level of spandex, but you also want to make sure that the blend of fabric that is blending with, it's not see-through and it's not thin, but it has some substance so that it conforms to your body better. And of course, it goes back to giving you a better fit, and you end up looking more polished.
I love that. Those are some really key points that we may not even think about. We just look at, I like the color, I like how it looks, and you don't think about the overall how it's going to actually fit you. And
exactly,
like Nikki said, alterations are expensive. So if we can avoid them, we should. She also had a question. Thank you for joining us, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Yes, I'm so happy she's here. She said, what about the myth of wearing white after Labor Day? Laugh out loud.
Well, I am here to tell you that myth, in my book, no longer exists. I am a big fan of wearing what looks good on you, right? And so if you like white, wear white all year round. Now for the winter, the colder seasons, I prefer the winter white, right? Or sometimes you've heard it referred to as egg white, only because it doesn't have the transparency as paper white. So it gives you a little bit more coverage, a little bit more substance. But if you're a girl that likes classic white, a white button-up shirt, a pretty white sweater, I would say do your thing and rock it. So I am just dismantling that myth. I don't know if I have the power to do that in the fashion industry, but I would say wear what looks good on you, because I'm all about color, right? And so if you have who's someone to tell you that no, you shouldn't wear white after a certain season if that's a color that looks good on you? If it looks good on you, wear it. Wear it.
So freeing. We got to be free, right? I
mean, have to, because at the end of the day, there's so much in the media, right, about image and how we look, and everyone is telling you the do's and don'ts and what not to do and what you should wear, what you shouldn't wear. Image is really about how you see yourself. It's how you see yourself. It's how you feel about yourself. And a lot of what is out there anywhere, it's not real. It's photoshopped, it's manipulated. And so you're looking at these pictures and you're looking at these celebrities and you're like, oh, wow, she looks fabulous. Yeah, she looks fabulous because in that moment she needed to, right? But, being fabulous is about feeling great about yourself, even when you don't have the makeup on, even when you're at home and you're just like in your PJs and you're lounging. And so it's really more important to really feel good about yourself, feel good about how you look, and let that be the leading reason why you wear what you wear, because you're representing yourself, right? It's just like if you work for a company. I'm representing the D.A.M.A.L.I project because that's my company. And so, but when I step out, I'm not just representing my company, I'm also representing Anika, right? Because when I step out, I want to make sure that whoever I meet, I am leaving an impression. I want them to walk away from my presence and feel better than they did before they came. So, and if part of wearing, the colors that you like help you to be in that space, then so be it. So be it. And I don't think anyone should tell you, what you can and can't wear in terms of, colors. But I'm just basically here to give you tips and trips how you can take what you already have and just take it to the next level and just be better. Not to change, but just to be better.
Yeah, and I love that because, that also ties in even with money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when we're thinking we need to impress others, now we're spending money that we don't have to impress
Exactly.
people that don't care about us, right? So we have to, focus in, and I've got to tie it back in to this is a fashion and finance. So,
Mm-hmm.
we're focused on let's make sure our net worth is growing. Let's focus on not getting into debt to impress folks,
Mm-hmm.
confident in what we're wearing and what we're doing, and not overextending ourselves for the wrong reasons. You know?
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
I'm a sales girl.
Mhm.
I almost never pay full price.
Yes. Yes. I
You
love
know,
that too.
and I have a few favorite stores. So when I walk into a store, the first place I go to is to the clearance rack. And
Yes.
so it really has nothing to do with how much you pay for an item. If you're someone that likes labels and that's your thing, so be it. But if you think in order for you to impress someone, you are required to wear a label, then there's a shift that has to happen in your perception.
Hmm.
Because I'm not a label girl, but I make sure that everything that I purchase is of good quality and it fits well. And I think once you do those two things, everything else is going to fall into place. So it has nothing to do with how much you spend,
Yes.
because you can spend $500 on a dress, walk into a room, and no one compliments you, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
and then you're
Yeah.
like, I spent $500 on this dress, and no one said a thing. And
Right.
then
What?
you can go to Ross. I had a client that I worked for, and I had an event to do for her.
Hmm.
And we went to Ross to get her an evening gown. You're like, evening gown at Ross?
Love
Yes.
rock.
We went to Ross, and
Yes.
her dress was $29.99. Okay.
Right.
And when she walked into that room, from the time she got there to the time she left, she was complimented for the whole night.
Love it.
And no one could believe the price that we paid for that dress. And
Hmm.
so she was absolutely stunning. She
Yeah.
was. And so she was the hostess with the mostest. And
Yeah.
so,
Love that.
so it has nothing to do, because the color complemented her skin beautifully, and
Mhm.
the dress worked for her body type. And so that just goes to show you, it's not about how much you spend on your clothes. It's just about being able to wear it well.
Yes, wear it well, and then you
Very
walk
well.
in the room with so much confidence that
Yes.
that's really your outfit,
Yes.
that's the whole
That's
thing.
it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. That's
that's
it.
what you do what
And
you do. Yeah.
yeah, because that's how come you can see two people in the same exact outfit, and
Mhm.
one person looks better than the other. And it has nothing to do with body type. It's just because that one person is like, oh, I'm wearing a dress. Another one is like, honey, I'm
Yeah,
wearing this dress, and they're
exactly.
leading with that confidence. And so that's what people see. And that's what people are drawn to. How do you feel about yourself in that dress? Are you wearing the dress, or is the dress wearing you? That's what you have to ask yourself.
That's what you have to ask. That's a
Yes.
good question. Let's ponder. Let's think on that one. Oh my goodness. Well, this has just been so awesome. I've really enjoyed it. We're on a live, so we've been on here
Mhm.
almost what 40 minutes. So I think we've had a great conversation. So
Yes.
I want you to sum it up, just kind of share with us any points that you want us to just leave this event from those watching the replay, those that are here, anything that you want to make sure people are aware of, and then also how to contact you as well.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, thank you so much,
Yes.
Shehara. Like I said, it was absolute pleasure allowing me to come in and do this finance and fashion discussion with you. And so, just to kind of wrap things up, basically, like what we talked about, is just being aware of how you present yourself. Right.
Mhm.
Always make sure that you wear things that are flattering to your skin tone, that are flattering to your body type. I know sometimes we see other people in things that we think, oh, that's cute, but because it's cute on her, it may not look cute on you.
Mhm.
So even though we are doing a lot of Zoom meetings now and we're working from home, just be mindful of what we're wearing from the waist up, and just try to get pieces that are flattering to you on camera, right? So that you're presentable, and so it can exude the confidence that the person that you're talking to see. They can feel your confidence, they can feel your energy, that you know what you're talking about and you're feeling good about what you're talking about.
Right.
And you know, not always feeling like you always have to go out and buy something new, just getting in your wardrobe, being creative. There's a lot of resources out there to help you mix and match, and just do something different that you haven't done before. And now that we're spending more time at home, you know,
Yeah.
it gives you an opportunity to take that time that you may not have before to come up with some creations and some new ideas. And so if you guys want to get in touch with me, I am on social media. I'm on Instagram. My business page is D.A.M.A.L.I Style Project. I'm also on Facebook as D.A.M.A.L.I Style Project. My website is coming soon. I also have a huge YouTube channel also for D.A.M.A.L.I Style Project, so you guys can check me out there. I just started doing videos, and the videos are just going to be, we're just going to talk about different topics. Sometimes it's going to be about fashion. Sometimes it's going to be about life. Just however, you know, I'm led that day, because I do enjoy sharing information and being a resource to others. The acronym for my company is Dress Always to Maintain a Lasting Impression. And I believe that wherever you go, you should do that, whether you're going into, you know, corporate America, or whether you're going to Walmart. You know, it has nothing to do with the price of what you're wearing or how much you're wearing, but it all it has to do with going in and you know, walking with that confidence that, you know, that you feel great about yourself, you feel great about what you're wearing, and presenting yourself in a way that others can see that as well.
I love that. And it's so true. I mean, just knowing you personally and everything, you exude that. You make people feel that way. So I think it's so important, and I just really appreciate that. And what I'll make sure to do is you send me those links, and then I'll just put them in the description so everybody can
Okay.
get access to that. We're just collaborating here. We both have our YouTube channels, and
Yes.
helping each other grow and grow our businesses, because this is the time that it is. We're, you know,
Mm-hmm.
owners getting out there, entrepreneurship. So I'm just so excited that we were able to connect and do this. And I really appreciate you sharing your nuggets. I think it's going to help a lot of people. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll get even more folks watching the replay. So I am so thankful for all of those who have joined us live. And I'm thankful for those who are watching the replay. And please be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. Please stay in touch. We love this. And if anybody is interested in scheduling a meeting with myself, I do a free 30-minute learn more call. And you can go and look in the description box for that information. But it's been great. I'm super excited for you and what you're doing. And I think this is amazing. So thanks so much, Anika. And thank you all for everything that you've done and for participating today.
Thank you, Shehara, and thank you for everyone that was able to tune in today. We really appreciate your support.
Yes, we do. All right. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.